Hey, what is up guys? I want to have a discussion with you guys as far as a potential that Evil Swarm Ophion might take a hit on the September ban list. And you might be thinking, Asian Eyes, you're crazy. There's no way they would hit Ophion, right? Who thought Thunder King was going to go to 2? This hurts spellbooks so much, and this card is at 2. I mean, realistically, it doesn't really hurt a lot of the players that were main decking 2 Thunder Kings anyways, but the thing is, why was this card put to 2? It pretty much just simply promotes the newer cards. One thing that Konami likes to do is when they're making newer sets, they like to make the newer sets stronger than the previous sets, and they also like to get the previous sets and, bump them down and make them not as good simply by just, limiting or semi-limiting or even banning cards just to make the new set even stronger than the previous set. Now, that's just a business decision because you can't say that it's a good idea to make the next set, just as strong. You have to make it stronger than the previous set so it sells. That should be pretty self-explanatory, but let's talk about reasons why I personally think Evil Swarm Ophion has a potential to get banned or limited, or something might just happen to the Evil Swarm archetype in general. Now, the way I look at Evil Swarms at the moment is it's a pretty good deck, but it's not good when you compare it to Elemental Dragons or Spellbooks. It's not that high tier of good. What this deck really does do, though, it kind of shuts down any other, innovative deck that can really just, have some fun. Like, for example, if this card comes out and you're playing Plant Synchro, you can't do anything. If you're playing Agents, you can't do anything. This card just simply shuts down all the other decks that aren't, the Elemental Dragons or the Spellbooks that can, still utilize cards and get around Ophion anyways. That's one real problem that this card really opposes, especially to the upcoming cards that are coming out. And let me go ahead and explain why I personally think Ophion, is going to get hit, or something just will happen to the deck. But I'd like your thoughts below. But first off, we have the Blue Eyes structure deck coming out. If you guys have played this deck, you'll realize that, especially the basic structure deck, I'm talking about picking up 3 of these structure decks, no cards outside of it, you're going to have a bad time against Evil Swarm Ophion. I mean, maybe if Exploder Dragon comes in here, you can maybe get rid of one Ophion, but they can spam Ophion so fast. And the problem is that, this deck revolves around Blue Eyes. If you can't get out Blue Eyes, what are you going to do? And I know that, you have Dark Hole as an answer, but the thing is, with that infestation that you add for free with Ophion anyways, it's a really hard deck to compete with. If you're playing the Blue Eyes structure deck, you're really going to lose to Evil Swarms, and, obviously this is something that they need to push. A lot of structure decks have gotten so much better over the past years. I mean, back in the day, structure decks weren't exactly the greatest thing, you always had to, add a whole bunch of cards, but now the structure decks are getting a lot better. But next up, with all these, high-level XYZ cards that are, coming out into the game, you can't play them if Ophion's out in the field, especially since plants are also getting a lot more support. A lot of players are talking about plants potentially coming back, which I think is a fantastic idea, but you can't really do much against Ophion. Again, one of those cards where you can't play these decks. Another just, high-ranked XYZ card where you simply can't make, and you won't be able to, play these gimmick puppets, these other, random decks that spam, I don't know, photons. There's so many decks that you just can't play because Evil Swarm Ophion is just gonna be like, no, you can't even summon that. You can't even attempt to do anything. And that's really where I think Evil Swarm Ophion has some potential to be hit, like I said. Other card like the new Sky Palace card, which is pretty good. It's kind of like a Gustav Max. Also, how are you going to get out Garbage Eyes, what is it, Garbage Eyes Black Dragon? I don't remember his exact name. I think they're changing it to Trashy Eyes Garbage Dragon, but how are you going to get him out if Ophion's not going to allow you to do that? Also, in the next set, Judgment of the Light, which is the next set that we're getting, we have 2 awesome cards coming out. We have the Fire King Avatar Yaksha, and we also have the Chicken, or Rooster is what it's going to be called, I believe, in TCG. These cards are going to be coming out, and what does this card, well, what does Yaksha do? Yaksha brings out High Avatar Garunix, basically. You're able to just pop him. And then on top of that, Chicken, you got to make the Horse Prince, so that, again, definitely doesn't promote their new sets, and that's really what I'm trying to get at with you guys. Even though technically the Evil Swarms is not the hottest deck right now, I really feel like it does hurt the potential decks that are going to be coming out in the future, as well as things that they need to push. I mean, on top of the Elemental Dragon Tins coming out later this year, we have a whole bunch of other decks that just really can't take off at all because, I mean, a first turn Ophion is so simple. It's almost like 80% of the time it's going to be first turn Ophion, even though the deck is not too great against E-Dragon and Spellbooks. It's still a very popular deck simply because it's relatively inexpensive. But like I said, guys, it's not a thought where I had where Evil Storms are just simply too good in the metagame. It's more so a call where you can look at the future of the cards that are coming out, and Ophion definitely does hurt them. Like I said, pretty much what it comes down to is the structure deck and all the new XYZs coming out. especially in the new set and the sets after, what are you going to do against Ophion? This is just really the problematic card, I feel like, in order to push sales of their cards. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you have any input on this? Do you think Evilswarm Ophion should be hit? Personally, the way I look at it is it definitely doesn't promote, other decks to see any play, because if you get matched up against Evilswarms, even though it's not the best deck, simply there's times where you simply can't play. Like, I've played Agents before and someone summoned Ophion and then I couldn't do anything. I was like, okay, summon Earth, and they're just like, okay, kill Earth, okay, summon Venus, get Shine Mold. It doesn't matter. You can't get rid of Ophion because you rely on other cards like Hyperion and other cards to get rid of problematic cards, but you simply can't do that because Ophion doesn't even allow you to get out your monster in the first place. But like I said, let me know what your thoughts are, or if you have any other thoughts on why Ophion should be banned, limited, whatever. You might know some other cards that are coming out or some archetypes. Let me know. I know Bujin won't care about this card at all, or the War Gods, whatever they decide to actually name that deck. That deck will absolutely obliterate Evilswarm simply because they have like triple Honest, and they can run Honest as well. So that's a deck that just won't care about Ophion. That's going to be coming out relatively soon. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Agent Eyes out.